What's up guys, Alicia here with Terradrift, coming back at you with another e-bike review. This time, it folds. So we dig e-bikes here at Terradrift, partly because we're a one-car family who lives in an urban area, partly because, well, we love cycling and e-bikes are just dang fun to ride. True story, if you've ridden one, you know. And partly because we think they're an awesome way to reduce your environmental footprint by ditching a car and still getting to where you're going with all your stuff, no less, in a whole lot less time and with a whole lot less effort than a traditional bike would require. Some studies even suggest that e-bikes are faster in some urban areas than sitting in traffic, which is kind of cool. As for the effort bit, if you've ever spent a summer in Texas, you know how big of a deal that part is. Honestly, it's too hot. Anyway, we tested out the Espin Flow a while back, but recently got our hands on the Espin Nesta, which is the brand's all-terrain folding, yes, I said folding, e-bike. And spoilers, it's just as fun to ride with just as much cargo space and a smidge more portability, all for a pretty baller price of $15.99. As a point of reference, other folding e-bikes can retail for double that. But let's get into the deets and then we'll let you know what we thought of it. For starters, when you order one from Espin's website, it arrives 95% assembled. So you do need to put in a little elbow grease right off the bat to get it ready to ride. It's not super complicated, but it might take you a half hour or so if you're not keenly familiar with bike maintenance and such. We did it, you can do it, it's not a big deal. Fortunately, it comes with all the tools and parts you need, but the instructions in the manual aren't really all that helpful, so we'll walk you through it real quick. If you want a more in-depth video, we'll link to the assembly video we did for the Espin Flow in the description below. It's more or less the same process.
For the Nesta, start by unpacking everything. Most of the parts will be wrapped in paper, foam, and zip ties. Next, slide in the handlebars, snap them into place, and install the seat to the desired height. Next, remove the plastic safety clip from the disc brake, flip the whole bike over, and remove the safety bolt from the fork. Slide the wheel into place, making sure the disc brake is seated properly, and make sure the wheel is nice and snug. Next, pull out the pedals. These are threaded differently depending on which side they go on, so look for the R or L stamped on the outside of the pedal. Screw them on, being careful not to cross-thread or over-tighten, of course. And lastly, attach the front basket if desired, screw on the headlight, and attach the fenders. And of course, don't forget to charge up the battery.
Now that you've got it assembled, back to the details. The Nesta features a compact step-through frame, so it's easy to mount whatever you're wearing. And yes, it's outfitted with all-terrain tires, so you can ride it in the city, but also on gravel paths or take it off-road if you want to, which is pretty rad. It's an 8-speed bike and features a 750-watt motor with a max 40-mile range, a 48-volt lithium-ion battery that fully charges in about 6 hours and can reach speeds up to 25 miles per hour. It's technically a class 3 e-bike, meaning it has a throttle and can go over 20 miles per hour. That said, it can also be set to a class 2 e-bike by limiting the top speed to 20 miles per hour and can be further downgraded to a class 1 by limiting the top speed to 20 and removing the throttle, which would only become something you need to do if you're riding in areas that limit certain classes of e-bikes in certain places like on trails or multi-use pathways. Just check your city's regulations for that info. Anyway, there's a headlight and rear red tail light that you can turn on using the handlebar controls and a color LCD display that shows time, speed, battery, assist level, which ranges from 1 to 5 BT dubs, odometer, and watt output, which is kind of a big deal, especially considering the bike's price point, because not a lot of even more expensive e-bikes come with a big computer readout like this. In any case, it is a pedal-assisted assist type bike, which means you have to pedal in order to get the motor going. Yes, there's a throttle for an occasional boost, which is especially useful when you're stopped at a light on a hill and could use a little help getting started, but it's not really meant for long-term throttle riding. As for weight, no, the Nesta is not uber light at 65 pounds. True, e-bikes are rarely super lightweight, but this one is pretty hefty, even compared to other folding e-bikes. Other accessories and features, it comes with fenders and a rear and front rack for plenty of cargo space, and there's a water bottle holder attachment point, but you'll have to buy the holder separately, if that is you don't already have a couple laying around at home. Bonus, Espin offers free shipping and a 12-month warranty, which we will talk about in a sec. But them's the facts. So let's talk about some opinions. First off, the number one thing we dig about this bike is that it's foldable. Now, we'll be the first to admit that foldable bikes can look a little, well, derpy. I don't know, you just see someone riding one and it never fails to incite visuals of clown cars and large men riding two small cycles. Maybe that's just us, I don't know. But that compact design has definite advantages, especially if you road trip often, live in an apartment or other small space in an urban environment, or regularly transport your bike to different areas to ride around town or hit the trails or what have you. It means you can store the bike in a closet, stash it in your hatchback, fit it in an elevator, that's a huge one right there, or travel with it across the country. No bike rack required. It's a very convenient solution for adventurers and urbanites who have less space than, say, adventurous spirits. That said, it's not exactly a breeze to fold and unfold. Naturally, the videos online make it look super easy, and I assume, like with most things, we'll get better at it the more we do it, but it is a bit unwieldy. I mean, the bike is 65 pounds. Now, I may be small, but I'm not weak, okay? However, because of the shape and size and how low the bulk of the frame is to the ground, it's kinda a bear to do the whole folding and unfolding thing. It's just kind of difficult. You'll figure it out. I'm just saying you won't necessarily look super fly when you're doing it the first dozen times or so. It's unwieldy, okay? We'll just say that. And while I'd say the bike does look pretty cool, which is obviously a matter of taste, it's not the smoothest, sleekest, high quality e-bike out there. And it's definitely an e-bike. I mean, it's not fooling anybody as to whether or not you're riding around on battery power here. What I mean, it's chunky. But it is what it is. And for the price, who cares? Especially considering all those cargo racks. I mean, dang, you can load up groceries, shopping, a bunch of work supplies, hang a couple panniers on there, you name it. Which is a great feature to have if you're looking to replace a vehicle for a variety of types of trips. We did have a few qualms with this bike though. For example, the bike is really jerky when you start pedaling, especially when you're going slow. Like when you're making a tight turn on a crowded path or trying to take it slow on a rough trail, the power can really surprise you when you start pedaling and it just kind of, woo, throws you forward. It takes some getting used to, so I'd recommend logging a few miles before riding it in those sorts of situations. Even then, it doesn't have the smooth pickup of other, albeit more expensive e-bikes. So I would say it's less for precision riding than for around town cruising, running errands, commuting, that kind of thing. Honestly, the first time I took it on some off-road terrain, it made me a little nervous every time I would try to slow down to hit some potholes or make a turn on like muddy, dirty track. Because the pickup's just a little bit jerky. The bike is pretty dang zippy though. My average speed over the course of one multi-mile ride was about 20 with a top speed of 25. That was switching actively between gears and power modes to achieve the most effortless riding. Which I will say, this puppy delivers. As for the warranty, it proved to be important right out of the gate, as after I assembled the bike, which doesn't require any work work on brakes or gears, by the way. The rear brakes didn't work and 2 of the gears were a little bit glitchy. So I sent a message to the Espin team and they responded quickly with instructions that I could take it to a local bike shop and have them perform a bit of maintenance, which Espin would then reimburse me for after I sent photos of the receipt, which is pretty cool and a really great thing to offer, especially if you're a brand with no retail locations and you're shipping a bike only mostly assembled to your customers. So kudos for that, Espin. Long story short, this is a solid e-bike, particularly for those new to e-bikes. It's not likely going to be a favorite among more experienced users, but if this is your first one, you're on a budget and you're looking for something that has serious power and can handle a variety of different terrain, offers tons of cargo space, but is also compact enough to fit into your elevator or hatchback, then yeah, the Espin Nesta is almost guaranteed to be the e-bike for you. So we'll put a link to it in the description below so you can check it out and order one for yourself if you like. And if you have any questions about the Nesta, drop them in the comments. Happy to help. But before you go to geek out over high-tech bicycles, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming gear reviews and outdoorsy how-tos. We love our subscribers. You're the reason we do this. Then check out even more gear reviews and guides over at terradrift.com and follow along with our adventures and get, I don't know, maybe a few sneak peeks at what's coming up on Insta, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Terradrift. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you. Now get on your bikes and ride. And also wander on. Anybody get that reference? No? Anybody? Anybody? I see you. You got it. You got the Queen reference. I spoiled it for everybody else. Yes, that is from Queen. You're welcome for throwing that in there. Piece of delightful musical trivia and pop culture reference stuff. I don't know. I like Queen. Blast it in the earbuds, you know, while we're cruising around. Or preferably in my Sena Bluetooth helmet, because that thing just streams the music. No earbuds required. You should check out that review if you want a cool e-bike and you also want a high-tech helmet to go with your high-tech bike. Boom. We're gonna put a link to that in the description below. Just thought of it just now. You need a Sena Bluetooth helmet. Trust me, it'll change your life, especially if you're riding with multiple people on e-bikes, presumably. Yeah, they're awesome. So I actually am gonna go ride my bike home right now because I rode it to the office today with a bunch of stuff loaded on the cargo racks. Very easy. Could even bring it inside. Just fold it up, bring it right inside the door. No big deal. I mean, a little bit of a big deal. It's heavy. It's not like I'm just like throwing it over my shoulder or whatever, but if you weigh, 250 pounds, you probably can just throw it over your shoulder. More power to you. I'm a little bit jealous because I am too tiny of a human to do that. I'm gonna go hit the streets, get my pedal power on. Peace out, yo.